Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about flex, but in particular, we're going to be talking about this 24-volt brushless SDS Plus multi-function drop motor style hammer drill, rotary hammer drill, okay? So this has a lot of interesting features and it's a 24-volt line, but most interesting of all, I think for probably going to be the key differentiator for most people is going to be this chuck. So this has your standard SDS style chuck where you can insert, twist, lock, right? But you can take it off. And then you can also insert or attach pretty much this Jacobs chuck onto here such that you can use it as a, drill. So when you have this on, you probably don't want to be doing hammer action, but it does allow you to use one tool for drilling and also rotary hammer. So if you're into that kind of thing and you need that, then that'll probably be useful. But this tool is fairly new, for, I wouldn't say flex, it hasn't been out for too long, but we're gonna go over this tool top to bottom, see how it stands up against, other SDS hammers we've tested so far. So if you want to know more about that, stick with us. So this right here is a Flex 24-volt brushless 1-inch SDS Plus Rotary Hammer Drill, and it is built for performance. It allows you to drill confidently with constant speed control, has built-in LED light, and it has vibration suppression. This rotary hammer drill, you're always going to be ready to adapt to the changing job site demands with its interchangeable chuck. What that means is it has a 1/2-inch keyless chuck included. Whether you buy it as a kit or a tool only, it's always going to be included on top of the SDS chuck that's already built with the tool, right? So this tool, Flex Rotary Hammer Drill, allows you to get maximum flex advantage with unmatched battery power, runtime, and faster charging, and all of this stuff is supported by their 5-year limited warranty. If you buy it before end of 2024 and you register within 30 days, you get that founder's lifetime warranty, but it's got a standard 5-year warranty in case for some reason you did it after that. But no load speed has up to 980 RPM, has up to 4,350 BPM, and its max impact energy is 1.9 foot-pounds, which equivalent of 2.6-ish joules. If you want to know how much this tool weighs, it's 7 pounds without the battery. So this right here is obviously left-hand part of the tool. Obviously, you got this handle here. And as we talk about most of the handles on these tools, let's go ahead and talk about this. So this is your standard handle. And what you do is you twist it a little bit to, relieve pressure from the ring that's holding it down. And you can turn it 360 degrees in any way you want to turn it. And then you just turn it again to pretty much lock it down exactly where you want it to be. This one has kind of like a metal cinch ring that kind of clamps down on it. So this is probably going to be a little bit more sturdy than probably just all the plastic ones out there, but nobody really runs into issues with too many of the plastic ones out there to begin with. So other than that, this is the depth stop adjustment system they have on here, and as most SDS hammer drills, got a pretty standard one here. Comes with the tool, so don't worry about that. We'll go ahead and move it all the way out here so you can see what's going on right here. So if you look at this right here in better lighting, this right here is the rotary hammer action. You get RPMs and hammer. This right here is a variable lock, so in case you wanted to use it as in chisel mode only, you can turn it wherever you need to turn it, and then get to hammer mode, which only does impact energy, so no rotation. That's what that does, okay? So you can also turn it back by squeezing this black button or gray button and turning it to what they call rotor or RPM spinning only, right? I guess it's rotary only, so that you can drill stuff, right? In case you didn't need hammer action. That's what that does. So those are the options you have going in on there. Otherwise on here you can see it is a drop motor style. It will say 24 volts right here. I'm testing it with a 10 amp hour stacked lithium battery, but this tool I would say is probably going to be fine with either the 5, or even if you want to use the 2.5, you could probably use that. But I wouldn't imagine this tool needs that much big battery power to get the maximum performance, because the real performance in these SDS hammers are really in the hammer action that happens, and it's not like a saw where you need to draw maximum amperage to get maximum power under load for the tool. Mainly because, like I said, this one, you're not putting that much load on it. So we are testing it with this, just to point it out, mainly because, you know, someone's going to say, oh, well, what happens if we test it with a bigger battery? Well, we're going to find out, because we're just going to test it with the biggest battery that we have, okay? This right here will say 24 volts, as you can see, as flexes in the 24 volt lineup. And it will say brushless right here, just in case you didn't know your tool was brushless. You know, they really want you to know. So other than that, on here, you got your forward and reverse switch. In case you get locked up, you can reverse out of there. And right here, you can see it's got the vibration control spring system. This is a pretty standard thing. You kind of notice this in almost all the tools these days. But when you're using it, we'll say go ahead, don't press so hard the entire spring is compressed, right? If you're putting so much force on the entire spring gets compressed, you're not going to be getting any vibration suppression benefits from it. So, you know, you want to use just literal moderate force, but usually just let the tool do most of the work, or pretty much all the work. So if you go around to this side, you don't really see anything else, nothing special going in up here. But if you want to go look at the front, right, the power drop motor, that's where the light is. And it'll also say 24 volts brushless right there, okay? The light will stay on for a good bit of time. It's a pretty good light, you know, in case you need, that's what you get with the light. So let's go ahead and move this back, and let's go ahead and talk about this, because this is the part that people really want to know, which is the chuck. So this chuck on here, you can use it, it's a keyless, pretty much Jacobs style chuck. And what you can really do on here is you can lock down, you know, a drill bit or whatever it is that you're using to, you know, I guess, do stuff, right? Depending on whatever it is that you're doing. And then you can drill stuff, right? But I would say most people are probably not going to be buy this tool for this. This is not the main reason you would buy an SDS hammer. But in case for some reason you wanted to buy one tool to do both, then yes, you could probably do this, right? The main reason you buy this tool is because, one, it's interchangeable, but also because of this chuck, which is the SDS chuck, right? So as you can see right there, you pull this metal ring down to take it off, right? And you also pull the metal ring down and then pretty much put it on to pretty much put it back into place. As you can see here, there's ball bearings that are going to be in here, and you can see there's indents for pretty much where those ball bearings to go. So you put this on here, you pull the collar back, put it in, locked into place, and you can put your bit in there, insert twist lock, it's good to go, right? So this tool, I'll go ahead and show you right here, I will say has a ramp up. It is not a soft start where it just ramps up slowly. It's a pretty, I would say, quick ramp up, but it does have a ramp up, okay? We will show you the trigger action here. Right, so that was in reverse. It's got variable speed, obviously, as you just saw there, right? Check this out again. Right, but if you go all the way in, you'll see. You see that little spin up action. It's a pretty quick ramp up, but it is there, okay? So now let's get into testing. I hope you caught those numbers, because those numbers were interesting. So let's get into the recap of the test, all right? So we took this SDS hammer drill using the SDS chuck, using the 10 amp hour fully charged battery, and we ran 3 runs of drilling, what is it, like 1/2 inch by 6 inch holes in dried, fully cured concrete, and we're gonna take the average of the runs, okay? So first run took 19.82 seconds, second run 18.20 seconds, and the third run was 18.12 seconds. Take an average of 3 runs with around 18.71 seconds, okay? This is obviously an SDS Plus class, and we can talk about the numbers of the specs later, but if you take an average of the 3 runs, the average of it comes out to 18.71 seconds, okay? So that puts this tool in third place, right behind the 2 Bosch SDS hammer drills we've tested so far, but in front of the Makita XRH04 D-handle style SDS hammer drill, okay? So the lineup looks like Bosch, Flex, Makita, okay? So let's go take a look at maybe why that is, right? So if we look at leaderboard, let's look at the specs part, right? So both the Bosch and the Flex had 1.9 foot-pounds of impact energy. Both of them, interestingly enough, have 4,350 BPM, and the RPM on the Flex is a little bit higher by 980 versus the 890 on the Bosch ones. So if you kind of calculate the work done per minute, we're kind of assuming that's, you know, or giving a good estimate of 1.9 impacts energy times the number of impacts beats per minute, right? We kind of got around to 8,265 work done per minute, which is pretty much the same as the Bosch hammer drills that are, you know, right above it. So the weight of the tool is heavier, as you would expect on this one, and that's only tool only, remember. So if you go and take a look at the numbers, you can say the numbers are actually really close, right? So we're talking about an average of the first place winner, which is being 16.43 versus an average of this one, which is 18.71. But the Bosch D-handle style one had an average of 18.25, right? Which is a lot closer to this Flex, which is the 18.71, okay? So why is that? You know, I'm not entirely too sure, but if I had to put a finger on it, my guess would, or let's say put money on it, we'll bet on it has a little bit to do with the ramp up time it has in order to get from 0 to 100. As we showed you earlier, even if you go full throttle on the trigger, it's going to take maybe 2 or 3 seconds, or maybe even 1 to 2 seconds of ramp up time, right? So if you go ahead and put that 1 to 2 seconds in that score, it actually comes out much closer if you reduce it, right? So let's just take 2 seconds, right? Then it would be at 16.71 seconds. Then you're actually talking about being in the same area. So I can tell you right now, the Bosch ones we've tested so far, the ones that we tested them without the soft start function. As you remember the other one in the previous episode, the Bosch had EPC, electronic precision control, which has a startup and maximum power and all that stuff, right? We tested it with that off. So it's actually much closer in all of those numbers, right? So that's a good thing to know, okay? So what can we say about this tool, right? So obviously, you know, it's a pretty good tool. We don't have a ton of uses with this tool, mainly because we just got it and only put a handful of tap cons in for some anchoring situation, but it is a good tool from what we can tell, okay? One thing I can tell you immediately right now is, especially with the 10 amp hour battery, it is a heavy tool, right? But the question you're really going to be asking is, should you buy this tool? You know, that only you can answer, and I tell you this in pretty much most of these episodes is, you know, you should only buy the tool if it really works well for you, not necessarily because it puts up the best numbers, okay? Unless you're into that type of thing, then you can go do that, right? But if you're in the Flex lineup, you really only have 2 choices, right? You got this one, then you got the other more compact one. I don't know if they released a newer one recently, but those are the 2 ones that we know of so far. So if you're looking for a tool in the Flex lineup, this is probably the one to get, mainly because it's like the bigger brother of the smaller one, right? Unless you're looking for one to do overhead, then you probably want the smaller one. But would I go out and buy this tool again? And yes, we did buy this tool. Nobody sent this to us, so we did purchase with our own monies. But my question really is, would I buy it again? Personally, no, mainly because we have other SDS hammer drills, right? And this one is a little bit bigger and it is a little bit heavier, right? It does have the nice feature with the interchangeable chuck, but I would say most people that are going to be using this tool or buying this tool are probably already going to have other drills, right? Even if it's not an SDS drill, they're already going to have other drills. So yes, this is a nice feature to have, right? But is it really worth this entire setup here without the battery? $300, because that's how much it is now, right? For $300, you can get other tools, right? And don't get me wrong, it's a good tool, but would I personally go buy it? Probably not. Should you go buy it if you're looking at SDS hammer drill? If it fits your needs and fits your situation, then yes. All right, so that's all I can really say about it. If you have any other questions, let us know. Have a great day. Get back to work, and we'll see you guys next time.